Good morning, all of you. Today, we are going to discuss about one of the very important order, that is Diptera. Diptera means di means two, ptera means wings. So it means all the insects which have only one pair of wing, functional wing, whereas another pair of wing may be rudimentary. So all these insects which have one pair of functional wings are coming under the order Diptera. We call them as Diptera or Diptera. In fact, these dipterans are the true flies, real flies. That is the reason whenever you write the house fly, fruit fly, you write the two words separately, house fly, fruit fly. Whereas look into the butterfly, for example. Butterfly, you never write separate words like butterfly. No, it's a butterfly, one single word. And all other flies. So the insects which are under Diptera, we always write two separate words like fruit fly, house fly. This is a very important order for not only for the agricultural importance, but also for the human disease importance. Like for example, mosquitoes. They really cause a serious damage to the human health by transmitting the disease because they are the vectors of the human diseases. Whereas all other flies, they are really important because they cause a very serious damage to the agriculture as well. With this background, we will try to understand about the important characteristic features as far as the Diptera is concerned, with some pictures, some good pictures. As I told you that Diptera means they are true flies. Di means two, ptera means wings. It means two winged insects. So all these flies in the picture, they are all coming under the order Diptera. Look into the characters of the insects of Diptera. The head is prominent. You can see here in both the houseflies and also mosquitoes, the head is very prominent. With a small neck, means the head can be movable in all the directions. With a small neck. The eyes are really big actually, except in mosquitoes, but all other dipterans, the head is really big. Especially the compound eyes are really big, larger in size. Usually they are larger in males compared to the females. Both holoptic and dioptic. Holoptic means eyes are continuously placed and they are very close to each other. And the dioptic means the eyes are distinctly separated from each other. In most cases, the antenna is very short. You can see, especially in all the flies except the mosquito, in all other flies, the antenna is really short. In mosquito, you can find the bigger antenna. The antenna is three segmented. For example, in case of flies, you can see the aristate antennae, very small aristate antennae. Whereas in case of mosquitoes, it is varying from the males and females. Another important taxonomic character is that it has a ptillinum or frontal sac, which is actually a characteristic feature of the suborder Cyclorapha, because it has got some frontal gland. If you remember, this kind of frontal sac or frontal gland is also available in termites. And the mouth parts, they have very well developed piercing and sucking kind of mouth parts, especially in case of mosquitoes. And the mouth parts are really developed in case of female mosquitoes compared to the male mosquitoes. With stylets, the mandibular stylets, maxillary stylets, it has got a wonderful mechanism to pierce into the body, make a hole, and suck the blood. If you remember, similarly in case of hemipterans, all these hemipterans will have a piercing and sucking kind of mouth parts, but in that case, the piercing and sucking kind of mouth parts are useful for sucking the sap from the plant tissues. In this case, as far as the dipterans are concerned, mosquitoes have a piercing and sucking kind of mouth parts, whereas houseflies, they have a sponging and lapping kind of mouth parts. Very well developed mouth parts in case of mosquitoes. In case of houseflies, they have a sponging and lapping kind of mouth parts. Look into the mesothorax. Generally, in all the cases, the prothorax is very bigger in size in most of the cases generally, but the biggest and the most important characteristic feature as far as the dipterans are concerned, it is the mesothorax, which is very large in size. Whereas the pro and metathoracic segments are fused to the mesothoracic segment. And should never forget that the dipterans, where we call them as a diptera because only they have a two wings, only one pair of wings. Only the front pair of wings are present, whereas hind pair of wings are modified into a small rudimentary structures called halteres. And these halteres are useful for balances, as a balancer and also gyroscopic organ, what we call them as for balancing during the flight. Legs, they are very developed. Tarsus are usually 5 segments. The most important character as far as the legs of dipterans is, they have a ampodium which is present, and also they have a pulvula. You can see here in this picture, they have a claw-like of structure and also some kind of tissue-like of structure here. And that is the reason they can actually even sit on the glasses. They have a wonderful mechanism so that they will not slip down. Larvae is eruciform and apodous. All the dipteran larvae are apodous. They don't have a legs. And we call them as a maggots in this case. Pupa is a puparium, a kind of shell kind of structure in which the pupation happens, and it's actually in the puparium. So in this order, we will have some important families as well for us, for the importance, because some of these insects are transmitters of the human diseases. The most important family in this case is Culicidae. All these mosquitoes are coming under the family Culicidae. They are very delicate insects. They are very fragile and slender bodied insects. Females will have a very well developed piercing and sucking kind of mouth parts. The biggest difference, like sexual dimorphism, you can find in case of antenna. Always the male will have a bigger antenna. The male will have a very well developed antenna in generally in all the insects, because the males has to perceive or receive the pheromones released by the females. So that is the reason always males will have a bigger antenna, males will have a very well developed antenna. In this case also, even in case of mosquitoes, you can see the sexual dimorphism, where the differences of the structure of antenna is very clearly seen. In case of males, it is actually bushy and it will have many number of hairs compared to the females. So that is the reason we call them as a plumose antenna in case of males and pilose antenna in case of females. Wings, of course, are fringed with hairs, only one pair of wings. Males are generally short living, whereas the females are extremely important for us to understand, because they are the one who sucks the sap from the humans and other animals. And they are long living. Females are long living. And they are the blood suckers. Larvae, we call them as a wrigglers. We call the larvae as wrigglers. The larval head is large with chewing mouthparts, and these larvae also apodous. And the most important is the pupa of these mosquitoes, we call them as a tumbler. And the second one is Cecidomidae. Cecidomidae, we usually call them as a gall midges or gall flies. Because the larvae of these gall midges or gall flies feed within the plant tissue and creating some kind of abnormal plant growths. And these abnormal plant growths are called as galls. As these larvae, because of their feeding, they create some kind of gall-like of structures in the plant tissues in the plants. We call them as a gall flies or gall midges. And these are the adults of these gall midges or gall flies are very fragile, very small, very delicate, very small. Usually you don't see them. They're very small. They have a very long antenna, which is unusual in case of generally dipterans will have a very short antenna, except in case of mosquitoes. That's what I told you. In all other flies, they have a very short antenna. And these Cecidomidae flies, they have a very big antenna compared to other dipterans. And the antenna is moniliform and with prominent walls of hairs. Moniliform antenna with a lot of hairs. And legs are really long, and the legs of these gall flies or gall midges, it resembles the legs of mosquitoes. Cecidomidae, gall flies or gall midges. And the most important you can see is paddy gall midge. That's the reason I presented the picture here. You can see the paddy gall midge. And we call them as a silver shoot. You can see here how these paddy gall midge, the larvae which is sitting inside the tissue at the base of the plant and keep on eating inside, and because of which the entire leaf will become some kind of a onion shoot kind of structure. And the larvae lives in the plants. This is the picture you can see. And that's how they form the galls. That's how they form the galls. Sessiodomoids, though they are very, very small, but they create a serious damage to the crops because they also have a different kind of reproductive mechanism that's called pedogenesis, which means even the larval stage can reproduce without mating. And the rice gall midge, Arceolea oryzae, is a very, very popular, and this is seen very commonly in Telangana and some places of north coastal area. And the second important family is Tephrittidae or Tripitidae. Very important, extremely important. This is the one of the most deadliest insects which are damaging to the crops. They are the universal insects. These fruit flies, Tephrittidae or Tripitidae, the fruit flies are available throughout the globe. Very dangerous, very dangerous. And Tephrittidae is referred as a fruit flies. There are almost more than 5,000 described species available throughout the world. They are one of the most important and deadliest family as far as agriculture is concerned. And they are the one which cause serious damage to the economy. They look very small, but they cause a serious damage to the crops. And they are a polyphagous. Actually, they feed on various crops. They are small to medium flies. Like any other dipterans, they have a bigger head. And their body is actually, they have a nicely described head, thorax and abdomen. Three segments are distinctly separated from each other. Wings are actually large. You can see the wings are large. And actually the identification of these fruit flies is based on the patterns present in the wings of these different kinds of fruit flies. The wings are large and mostly pictured with spots or bands. That's the reason I told you that the spots and bands are the identification marks for these fruit flies. Ovipositor is very, very well developed. This is the ovipositor. This is very, very well developed. And adults are visitors of the flowers, fruits and foliage. They don't cause any damage. But these fruit flies, with the help of these ovipositors, they lay the eggs inside the fruit, just below the rind of the outer layer of the fruit. And these larvae, which are hatched out of these eggs, they actually eat inside the fruits. And once these larvae are there present inside the fruit, it is economically useless fruit. It cannot be marketed. Nobody eats. And these fruit flies are universally present. Different species are present in worldwide. That's the reason whenever somebody export the fruits or import the fruits, especially the citrus fruits, mango and other fruits, even the cucurbits, people are very, very afraid to import the fruits because the fruit flies can come along with these fruits. The eggs and larvae which are present inside the fruit, very, very deadly and dangerous insects. The mango fruit fly is Bactrocera dorsalis and cucurbit fruit fly is Bactrocera cucurbitae. Whenever you buy any cucurbits and just cut it, and you will find sometimes the larvae inside, just inside the rind, the outer layer of the cucurbits, and these are the fruit flies. very dangerous, economically very important, and you have a checking mechanism at the border point just because of these fruit flies. The third family is Agromyzidae. Agromyzidae, we call them as a leaf miners. Probably whenever you see a leaf near your garden, backyard, and the plant, you'll find this kind of structures. And this is a పాము పొడ తెగులు అంటాం. అంటే పాము లాగా ఉంటే చిన్నగా. And these things we call them as a leaf miners. Actually, why we call them as a leaf miner? Because the small larvae, which is actually penetrated between the upper layer and lower layer of the leaf surface, and slowly it is actually keep on eating inside the tissue materials. Very, very small larvae. You can see here, this is the small larvae which is formed. Keep on eating between two layers. And that's the reason. So this kind of damage is very commonly seen in some of the leaf. And they are very small black color or yellow color flies, very, very small. You don't see them, very, very small. And femur of legs, bristles, of course, you can't see with the naked eye unless until you have some microscope. But this is the most important taxonomic character. Most of these larvae, Agromyzidae, most of these larvae are phytophagous. They mine into leaves. They mine into leaves, producing characteristic blotches. And also they mine into stem. They mine into stem. And some also eat the parts. They are also very important family. Serpentine leaf miner is very common in most. It's very, very polyphagous. It can be found on all kinds of leaves. And another important, economically important agromyzid is red gum pod fly. Melanogroma obtusa. Whenever you see the red gum pods with this kind of damage, it's simple as that. This is damaged because of the pod fly. That's nothing but Melanogroma obtusa. And another important family is Mucidae. Mucidae means shoot flies, because their larvae damages the shoots. They are also very small. So out of all these dipterans, mosquitoes, house flies, and the fruit flies, Tephritids, only these flies are very, very bigger in size, and all other dipterans are very small. These mucids are shoot flies. They are very, very small, dark flies, resembling just like house flies. And the larvae are cylindrical, and actually they are phytophagous. And these flies actually lays the eggs near the shoot, and the larvae, which is penetrated into the shoot and cause serious damage to the shoot. Jowar shoot fly and rice seedling fly. Jowar shoot fly is very, very important, and the farmers lose the crop at the early stage because of the shoot fly. They lose 100% crop sometimes. Mucids, they are the smaller flies. We call them as shoot flies. So with this, we finish the lecture on Diptera. As we always close the session with some remarks, the Diptera, di means two, ptera means wings. These are the insects with one pair of wings or two wings. And also we try to understand some of the important characters of these dipterans. Most importantly, the head is very, very bigger in size, and the compound eyes are bigger in size. And as far as the wings are concerned, the only front pair of the wings are present, and hind pair of the wings are generally modified like a small pad-like structure. We call them as harties, and these harties are used for balancing purpose, and that is we call them as a gyroscopic organs. And also we try to understand some of the important characteristic features of insects which are agriculturally important for us, and also Culicidae, because the mosquitoes are also important for us to understand because they are the disease transmitters. And Tephritid, you should never forget about the Tephritid or Trifetidae. We call them as a fruit flies. They are extremely important. And they cause serious damage to the crops throughout the world. And Agromyzidae, Mucidae, all these families are very important. With this, we close the discussion on the order Diptera in the class Insecta. Thank you very much and see you again.